Okay, folks, this is your last chance before you get spoiled. This is full of spoilers for episode number 5 of the Boba Fett show, the Book of Boba. So stop now if you don't want to get spoiled on the Book of Boba episode 5. Okay, go away. You got a little bit of time. Run away. 3, 2, 1. Returning friends, Dark Sabers, and where the hell is Boba? Today on the Bookend.
Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by to receive our transmission.
Brian.
Silas.
I love my favorite part of this episode.
Jumping ahead, man.
No, my favorite part of this episode right now is the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because it says last time on Boba Fett and shows what's happened previously and doesn't deal with any of it.
Nothing. Well, except for the very, very end. But yes.
This is the most ridiculous episode that we've had. Five episodes in, right? 5? Yeah.
Five. Episode 5. Look at what I'm wearing, man. It was all about this guy. That guy.
Oh, the Mandalorian.
Return of the Mandalorian. Let's talk.
Return of the Mandalorian. That's the episode title.
Yeah.
And boy, yeah, it fit completely. The title fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Music.
First, overall impressions. Like, did you like the episode?
Okay. All right. So, for the sake of your one fan that listens to this, I know that you're assuming I'm going to hate it. I know you're assuming I hated it. And I did at first because I watched it with my kids and we were so confused. We actually stopped it to make sure we were playing the right show. We were very confused. And with my children, I hated it. And I was very frustrated and I was confused and I needed hugs and they weren't delivering. So it was very awkward. But then I did watch it again with a whole new experience and understanding of what I was watching, which was a Bryce Howard masterpiece, and I'll explain why about that later.
Bryce Howard? Who's
Bryce Howard Dallas. Sorry, Bryce Howard Dallas. Bryce Dallas. She directed it.
Oh, okay.
And now I know why, and I loved it. I loved every inch of it, every parsec,
like
everything.
I thought it was a good episode of the wrong show.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was intrigued. I was more into it maybe than any other episode of Boba Fett so far.
Completely. And that harkens the problem about the Book of Boba Fett.
Well, it's just like, it's funny. I remember reading something where the crew was not aware they were doing the Book of Boba Fett. They actually thought they were on the Mandalorian when they were doing it at first.
So many.
And I get it. It was like, oh, no wonder, since a fifth of the episodes, a third of the episodes are all about Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And tying up loose ends from there. Part of me is like, oh, is this lazy because they don't want to have to actually do this setup stuff when Mandalorian restarts? They don't want to have to find out what happened. And
I think the Pikes were on strike, so maybe they just weren't available to get their asses kicked in the episode, right? So I think maybe they just had to say, wait a minute, let's reshoot a couple scenes. And then they were like, wait, this stuff's better than the entire episode. Let's just scrap it and do a Mandalorian. Because, I mean, I don't even know where to go with this. So let's just dissect it like we always do and have fun, because I'm still confused as all hell why they did so much. Right?
I don't know how much they had to set up to, I don't know, as if it's almost as if they thought, the people watching this, what if they didn't watch Mandalorian? What if these people have tuned in just to see Boba Fett?
Yeah,
as if they're not the same people watching.
Okay. So let's talk about my concern really quickly, and this may or may not resonate with you. I've noticed over the the previous 4 episodes, I am a lifelong fan of Boba Fett. I was one of those kids that saw the 3.5 minutes realistically that he was in the 2 original films, right? The original trilogy. And I was like, oh my God, I've got to get his action figure. I saved up the little Hasbro back proof of purchases. I sent them off. I was one of the ones that were disappointed that I didn't get the Boba Fett that shot the backpack. Some kid in Denmark, some idiot joked on it. Good riddance, culling of the herd, but it screwed up the fun for everyone else. And now that it's happening, I'm realizing that I don't think Boba Fett can carry a show long enough. He's not interesting enough. And I hope they make him better as he goes through this, I want to lead with respect and peace, and yet he mows down a biker gang with a drive-by shooting. I mean, there's so many odd things and disparities with the character. I don't know what's going on. And I feel my fanship almost trying to sail away a bit, because I'm more interested in all the other denizens of the Mos Espa and Mos Eisley and this brilliant ring planet that they should bring back every episode, because it's so cool. It's it harkens back to the Elysium film. If you haven't seen that, it's screened shot by shot. It's almost the same bloody thing. I mean, it's so cool. Everything else is cooler than Boba Fett.
Right.
Well, concerns me. What do you think? I mean, I babbled a bit there. I'm sorry, but I don't think he can carry the show long enough.
Well, I think one of the problems is when he was a mysteries are cool.
Mysteries are very cool.
But I think the road that got ruined is the moment they made him the son of Jango and the Clone Wars.
Jenga. No, Jango Fett. Jango. Yeah, Jango.
The Jango.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, because
I think because once we knew who he was, and we already they built in a sympathy of oh, this is the kid he watched his Stan's head got cut off in front of him, right? Yeah. Sympathy right there.
Yeah.
And I think from that moment they were locked into, now that we know who. If they had never done that, the Mandalorian show could very much easily just been Boba Fett.
Well,
because we wouldn't have known about him.
Except the cartoon series, which you're not as familiar with, had him in it a lot. And
Clone Wars?
Yeah, he was no, it was I think it was Rebels.
Rebels, yeah.
Sniveling little backstabbery D-bag.
Right, but that was after that again though was after they'd already messed him up with Clone Wars.
After his father's death, so he's messed up in the head.
They may not have ever been able to help. Once they did that, they may not have been able to help themselves.
Yeah.
If they had never put him in Clone Wars or involved his dad in that, made him part of the whole arc. They probably couldn't have helped themselves but bring Boba into Rebels or something, try to use him instead of keeping him as a mystery thing.
Well, I still,
or a future series.
I still think that everything we've seen and everything we're going to see is on some huge whiteboard the size of 2 city blocks, hidden below Lucasfilm's ranch, right? Or whatever. Yeah. I don't think any of these things are done randomly. I think it really, it's like Marvel's 10-year arc or 20-year arc, right? Fucking brilliant how they've done this. And all the Easter eggs are harking back to, the very first one. Even the original DC Hulk characters are coming back, right? Because now Abomination is coming back in the upcoming, series. And I mean, all these things are tying together.
Well,
that's happening with the Star Wars thing. And they had to humanize Boba in the cartoons because they didn't have an active live show or movie for him at that point.
Yeah.
They had to develop the bratty little, crappy character he was, little, again, backstabbery. He had his own little bounty hunter gang, and they weren't really taken seriously. And now he's, through all of that, through however he ended up, being hired by Jabba And then his backpack is a piece of crap at that point, and he gets his butt kicked in 2 seconds by, Solo, falls down. Now he's like this new guy, but he's just kind of given up, and he's not exciting. And like you said, mystery gone.
Yeah. And I think there was the moment you made him the center of the show, then he has to sort of be a hero to some degree.
Yeah.
You don't do shows about, it's hard to do a show about a villain as the main character.
Well, he's an anti-hero. I mean, right. Michael Chiklis in The Shield, one of the most brilliant corrupt cop shows ever. He was a horrible person, and yet you loved him.
Disney is not going to do
stuff, right?
Disney would not do what would have needed to be done to make an anti-hero work.
But they're kind of trying.
No, they're not. I don't think they are. They're making him like this good guy with respectable. I mean, it's his face turn. This is wrestling terms. This is him turning face and being
mowed down a biker gang relentlessly with blaster fire and one of those sonic things that took out the main rider.
Luke Skywalker committed a Holocaust.
Yeah. He
just killed millions of people on the Death Star.
Anti-hero. Yeah.
But he's not an anti-hero, right? He's not.
I think he is. I think
Luke Skywalker?
Mofo.
Luke Skywalker's killed more people than anybody.
I know.
We don't acknowledge that. We pretend he was just a hero saving the day. And he killed thousands of custodians.
Dude, Boba is going to show up in the last episode swinging the big Rancor arms around.
Luke Skywalker is the biggest union buster of any in the galaxy. They're going to unionize. You know what? Let them shoot this thing because we'd rather not have a union.
They want railings on their corridors just as the laser beams go by.
I just don't. I think there was a danger that you're going to make him that he becomes a hero because that's just the way they do things. Is they turn them into heroes, and the moment you do, I mean, this is the same company that wanted you to forget in one movie that Kylo Ren murdered his father, the most beloved Star Wars character, right? And kind of like, well, maybe we'll tease with him being a good guy. Maybe he's kind of a good guy. Maybe could he be a good guy? No, he just murdered his dad 2 hours ago. Like 2 hours ago. No, we're not accepting this.
Exactly. Okay. All right.
We have a lot of forgiveness. I don't know. I think they've been doomed. Mandalorian, what's cool about Mandalorian is it is both mystery is still there.
Some
mystery, and it's an origin story. So we get to see this origin, who he's becoming, and a change. Both origin and his face turn. Like he was a badass bounty hunter and he's changing because of a little green dude.
Yeah, so let's talk about immediate change, okay? The episode opens up, and all we were missing was the Rocky theme in that meat pack.
The meat locker?
Yeah. In the meat locker. It harkened back toward those, that 80s genre style film. I loved, again, it took the second viewing, right?
Yeah.
My confusion was cleared up. It was so well done because even when he first walks in, you can tell that Mando is bent. He's a different dude now. He doesn't have his little pocket pet Grogu right there, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have his little dude. He's lost. He's mad. He's got issues, and he takes it out on those guys, but simultaneously gives them an opportunity to not die. Those he doesn't have a beef with, those he isn't paid to collect a bounty on. And they all, run in and go get all the credits.
I think he was like, there's a lot of people here. I'm not going to be able to handle all of these guys.
Well, yeah.
Look, I mean, this was just a repeat of the first episode, like his entrance into the saloon.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, because that was the Clint Eastwood thing.
He does the same thing. He goes up to this guy and goes, "I'm here for you." He's like, "Well, it's not me."
Yeah,
it's the same scene.
It is actually.
It's in a meat locker.
make that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So it is a return of Mando. He's returned to who he was pre-Grogu.
Yeah,
The bounty hunter goes in,
that's
beats
a
up a
mouthful.
bunch of people.
Pre-Grogu.
Pre-Grogu.
Pre-Grogu. Yeah.
Um,
But there's heart in him now, right? There's something a little off, and then it actually took it till the second viewing for me to realize that, you know, he really was struggling with that blade in the beginning,
yeah.
and toward the end, and I hadn't picked up on that until, of course, the weapons master starts sharing that story. But yeah, and then okay, so
he's in here. He meets this ugly guy. It says, "No, you're the ugly guy that I'm looking for."
Yep. They're like,
so they attack him, and he pulls out the Dark Saber, which is different. I don't know why. Is it more? It's more a little more grotesque when you're killing somebody with a sword. It's a little more like, ooh, like you got.
Yeah.
I love that the only injury he gets in the whole thing is from himself.
Was his own injury. Yeah, and that's when I kind of picked up, even first viewing, of what how could he do that? And then, of course, like I said, it makes
himself.
It gets heavier and heavier as he's swinging it.
I like the idea that people not being perfect with like lightsabers and stuff, and being like, "Ah, dang, I got myself on that."
Yeah, it's like how does every Wookiee Jedi from back in the day and in the upcoming series with the Old Republic, right? How do they not singe the crap out of their fur, right?
Right.
Do they need to get poodle cuts where their arms from like the elbows down are like barren? You know?
Yeah. Insane. Now, I read something that was explaining the weight of the Dark Saber deals with the weight of the emotions of the person. So
the worthiness of them.
Or if they are thinking like negative thoughts, it's gonna be heavier.
Yeah. Well, because
it clear the mind, which makes sense because Jedis are pure of mind, so the Jedi would be
exactly. It was crafted by a Mandalorian / Jedi. Was it either 10,000 years ago? Yeah, 10,000 years ago. So that that guy, the Visla guy, had to have worked that Jedi shit into it. So then, yes, any wielder has to be psychologically sound and pure of heart and mind, not going negative routes, or else it weighs it down and makes it impossible to wield, which I think is a fascinating concept. It's kind of like the Thor hammer. It's kind of like Excalibur. Like you have to be worthy to pull it out of the stone. You have to be a badass and an Australian, Kiwi guy to be able to pull it out, pull up the hammer. I think it's brilliant.
And then the title, The Book of Boba Fett, and you're like,
oh, I am watching the right show.
What? Okay, sure. Yeah, once they're all out, it's gonna be very confusing. And then right away we move to Elysium, right? We go to
exactly. Basically the ring world, which I just have to say is where Bryce, as director, her style of directing is brilliant, because when he is shuffling down, basically call it like a street, and you can see space above him, right? There is no I mean, there's an eluded atmosphere as you see the ring originally. You can see like a little bit of a gradient of where like that oxygen's been contained.
Yeah.
But everywhere it looks like someone's going to fall into space. And it's one camera scene from him walking with traffic and speeders and weird stuff going by. Limping and kind of grunting, and you can hear the breathing in the helmet. And then he gets into the elevator with that very cool looking, almost like salamander type of alien.
Yeah.
With that awesome, awkward, like, I mean, why couldn't they have had like Max Rebo elevator music in the background, right? I don't recall any of that, but it was super awkward. But the whole scene was one camera shot to the rotation of watching them, and all of the activity in the background was so beautifully done to create this ring world. Like, I want to watch all of the ring world scenes again and again and again. That's been the most spot on, incredible effects and depth and creation of a completely artificial world, I think, ever.
Well, I mean, I think it's kind of common. It's also in it's besides Elysium,
It's common, dude. Yeah.
it's in that Matthew McConaughey film, Interstellar. They also have a ring
Not on that level though, dude. Honestly.
satellite. I think it's I think it's one of the more realistic ideas of how a space station colony would work is this artificial gravity creating
Exactly, the
thing
rotation.
like this. So and so he brings he brings the head to the assigned person.
Yep, to the amphibian little guy.
She said she has another job for him, and he kind of like it's like I gotta go pee or something. I don't know. He has to go take off for some reason. I didn't quite get that. Why? I wasn't clear if he was taking the job or what's he doing. He was like, I got things to do.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't pick up a puck or a tracer, so he didn't take the job.
Oh, that's right.
I don't quite understand why. Like he
was hurt.
He was hurt, but he also didn't like being told to sit down. The fact that they were withholding information pissed him off. And again, to me, that just alluded or foreshadowed really how damaged he is. And he just wants to go find his little dude, check up on him, and then also like you said, he's got to heal his leg. He would probably let out had he been sitting there with all those creepy aliens talking about some stupid bounty.
Just bleeding.
I mean, it did sort of seem to seal itself because of the heat or whatever of the Dark Saber, but still, that was a messed up wound.
And so then he goes off and finds. Oh, I didn't notice this part before that he used his little infrared to tell him which way to go.
Yep.
To find the armorer.
Well, and
is that her name? Is that her name? The armorer.
The blacksmith, the armorer, and then but he's looking specifically for the I forgot what that like brontosaur looking insignia or signet.
Oh yeah.
So he's looking for that, which is basically saying you are here. Come on in because you're a Mandalorian. And then he finds out what? He finds out that he's one of 4
left. Yeah.
So by the way,
because we knew
number 4.
Oh, we haven't missed
right?
Yeah.
Because the Vizsla, big huge guy with the machine gun.
Yeah.
Sort of made up with, Mando in season 2. This time he turned out to be a complete D-bag because he thought he was deserved the blade, right? So that didn't last long. But then here comes the training, the actual training and the story about the Dark Saber. Yeah.
So you have to do some of that before.
Actually,
it was a little.
We're jumping ahead too.
They heal him.
So Vizsla heals him, and then they talk about the pike, or the staff, excuse me, made of Beskar steel, which also ironically, did you catch?
Wait, where did he get the pike?
He got the pike originally from the Ashoka episodes, where Ashoka got it from the gal who she killed on the ramp in the huge water scene.
Okay. Yeah.
So Ashoka gave it to Mandalorian because he's a Mando, it's Beskar. But did you catch that the reason why the sword kind of needed to be offed and melted down was because it was made of a particular Beskar that can puncture Beskar?
Oh, okay. Yeah,
huge danger.
I think I gathered it, but I wasn't quite sure why they were.
Yeah, so I didn't know that was a thing. Beskar can puncture Beskar, so it was super dangerous. And then they melt down, just the tip, and they just melt down the tip, and they make something for Grogu.
Yeah, a gift. That seems to me to be a little foreshadowing that we're probably going to run into people with other that are going to be piercing Mandalorian shielding. So otherwise, there's no reason to really bring that up.
Plus, it's the only time that we've ever seen Vizsla, the huge heavy gunner, use an actual energy shield on his wristlet, which I thought was cool too. It didn't serve him any good.
Right.
But he had that too. So we're starting to kind of see more gadgets that the Mandos have, which again, I just think is
well,
cool.
that's because Q is there, and Q can give. Q, what do you got now? Like, oh, I got the shield for your armor, and also here's a pen that's also a gun. So
yeah. And if you have a kneecap brace, it also shoots missiles. So I mean, crazy. So the fight ensues.
The fight ensues. Here's the thing. What bothered me about the fight. The fight, and it's just a fight. Was it too slow for you?
No, because I was realizing that not only did Mando Din Djarin have an issue wielding the sword, it was immediately heavy when Paz Vizsla grabs it.
Yeah.
He, right off the bat, he's a big dude, right? He's like, he could barely wield it. And that's why Din Djarin was able to walk around and basically shank him like 6 times, which any normal person would have bled out in seconds. But apparently,
right,
there's Bactine built into the suits. So, I mean, he was able to not die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. I mean, so much for being worth, because your great 10,000-year-old, grandfather, whatever, made the damn sword. It's crazy.
So okay, my whole thing with them asking, like, they did this thing, this is the way of things, and have you ever done this? Oh, no. And then, like, have you ever taken off your helmet? And they're like,
whoopsie.
And it was like, I mean, maybe this is my problem with religion in general, is the, like, wait, you're not gonna let him explain what happened and why he had to for the mission?
I know,
he tried not to, or
get forgiven with, hey,
he wasn't like meeting with hookers or anything. Like, that's not why he took it off. He was trying to mount a rescue.
It still showed the immense loyalty, pride, whatever, that Mando Din Djarin has toward his creed. And now that I think that, I mean, he's obviously broken it a couple times. When IG-89 saved him, he took it off because he had the huge concussion, and Cara Dune had to save him with the putty or whatever it was. So he took it off them. He took it off to see Grogu. He almost took it off to see the hot chick in the swamp marshes during the @ST episode. Which, by the way, the first time we saw the bulldog, puppy dog aliens all dressed up like pirates, and those were the same species that he lopped in half during the beginning of this episode. It's fascinating that they're still milking this, because he's not a Mandalorian now. He came clean. Now he's been booted out, but there's a way to do it if you go take a freaking hot steam bath underneath left of Mandalorian. Apparently that purifies.
Well, I guess we know what season 3 is going to be.
It's like, so now we're going to see some other Mando in his freaking skivvies taking a dip to apparently rebirth himself. But I think he's going to start losing his mask more often now, because I think he's going to have to. I think when he sees Grogu, he's going to cry and pull it off, and huge alligator tears and everything else. I mean, and then of course she hands him the little pouch. And did you pick up on the super obvious shape of the pouch?
No, I was trying to figure out.
It was Grogu's head with 2 ears.
Was it?
The little freaking like bandana that whatever this little chain mesh thing was, because remember, they were little tiny ringlets being spilled into a holding thing as the armorer was doing her thing. I mean, I would pay huge money to see Grogu in a freaking chain metal outfit. So freaking funny.
Okay, one thing I forgot about is that they showed memories, whatever, of video of the
Night of 1,000 Tears or whatever, the destruction.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which isn't that what Bill Burr's character talked about?
Bill Burr's was involved in it because he was still drinking the Kool-Aid as an Imperial guy at that point. I think he and his squad were left behind or something. That's where he was just like, fuck it, man, this is not cool. We don't leave anybody behind. But yeah, that was spot on. That was a really horrific scene, right?
I think it's the first time that's ever been shown, right?
Yeah, it was already canonized,
right,
but
but they've never
action. It was very well done, and the huge rolling, almost nuclear effect of the big biodome exploding, rolling over all these burnt up, charred helmets of Mandos. That was crazy. And then the same, I think it's RX-99 droids that were in Rogue One as the kind of semi-sentient droid was one of the main characters.
Yeah.
They were like the Terminator droids.
Oh yeah.
Episode all stomping around. It was totally like James Cameron not. They were shooting and just killing everyone in sight. That was crazy. That was really, really dark.
They made me think about when we talked about assassin droids and why those were not like people hated droids.
Yeah.
Like that's one was like, oh, see that for me, that's what I wanted all the droids to be like in Clone Wars. I wanted in all the prequels, I wanted them to be evil droids that people feared and hated, and so people did not trust droids anymore.
Or like insanely agile, like the IG-88 series or IG-80 series are, like we saw in The Mandalorian, is just zipping around on the speeder and racking.
Yeah, I just wanted them to be murderous, not like not like Abbott and Costello.
Yeah,
droids.
Or like Lando's creepy ass girlfriend.
Those should be the janitors or something, right? They should be the janitor droids. They're like waka waka, yeah. Oh, let me slip and fall on a banana peel. Oh, they can do the cartoons of them.
Air throwback there, waka waka in there.
Waka waka. Muppets Take Mandalore.
Oh, I'd watch that. Can you imagine that? Hey, you guys! I mean, that'd be great.
They're all owned together. So.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we did this fight. Man, we're past. There was a lot of info in that.
Yeah.
That time in the armorer. This, I mean, I will say credit to the writing and everything because the scene went by fast to me, but it was a long scene according to my calculations here.
Yeah, there was a lot of downtime as they're learning about the blade, training for the blade. Din Djarin sucked wielding the blade. He'll basically grow a pair. And again, he technically won it in battle now, taking it back from Isla. So it'd be interesting to see now how he wields it. Because again, technically speaking, if it's in the right hands, this brother can go
clean mind
Mandalore.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because at some point he's going to need to make a decision. Is he going to basically become Grogu's dad? Or is he going to go do the Mandalorian thing? Or is he going to stay a bounty hunter? Like he has a lot of forks in the road, or basically one path leading to an actual fork.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because he'll have like 3 or 4 different directions to go.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think it's fascinating. And if whenever we see him again, like I guess we'll see him as hired muscle now. So if he's wielding the sword, will it be difficult for him now? Because he won it correctly in battle, and now he's kind of like he has a mission now.
Yeah,
righteous mission. I'm fascinated with the Dark Saber.
Okay, interesting scene. I want to know why this happened because this has to be a setup for something else.
Yeah,
him boarding the night cruiser, and they said no weapons allowed, and he's like, "It's my religion. I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are my religion." As if there's religious exemptions there, right? But they go like, "Oh, well, you're," and then they go on. Now, this is either because that's going to be the excuse when you go take the Galactic Star Cruiser hotel ride, and they explain why no one has weapons. Like, oh, it's just like a Mandalorian. Or
I don't think that was a plug. I think that was just a one-off. It was a very humorous scene to see the Star Tours droid, who's now been used in 3 or 4 instances as the courier of the safes for people's weapons. Yeah. Just the fact that he literally took probably 20 minutes disarming, because if you noticed, the queue was done when he was finally done. There was no one else in line behind him. Everyone else boarded except him. He was like the last guy. He was that one a-hole that when you're on an Alaskan Airlines flight and you've been sitting on the tarmac, whatever.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's hold the ship. He finally gets on and he has 4, cases with him. There's no room overheads. The stewardesses flight attendant people are sick and tired, and they have to then get something back into the lower baggage. I mean, he's the one that held up the whole thing. And it's so funny that he had to like let all the little tiny whistlers off, and he like hit a button and they all fell out. It was just like, oh my God, like how can you not bump that someday and like kill somebody unintentionally, whatever. It was just a very Bryce Howard Dallas, whatever the hell her name is, esque odd, nod toward her view of humor. I think.
But then he gets on here and then he starts playing peekaboo with the little Rhodian, right?
Oh, dude, no, he just sat there.
I know.
Like totally emotionless.
But I just love the kid. I was like, oh, this is a peekaboo and a plane. Here's what's interesting. What I found about this scene was it's showing how the worlds work.
Yeah.
Like, oh, then the transporters are going. There's buses going all the time around here. And then you're like, well, why didn't they take one of these to Alderaan? Well, were they no rides left, or?
Well, most farmers are shit poor. So I mean, like Luke didn't have the credits at that point, right?
Oh, you think this is high credit riding?
I think what we were seeing was like the Greyhound version versus a Cadillac version. You know what I mean? So I think there are levels of it. I mean, this is like if you don't have, I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting and kind of fascinating how he did use it to get off the planet. A lot of people are hating on the little Greedo character kid. I thought it was freaking hilarious. And like, I did want to see Mando be like, oh, you like Grogu, or something like that. But he was totally emotionless.
He doesn't look like Grogu.
I know, but he's now
just because he's green.
He's got a connection toward like.
Boy, that's a racism. Oh, toward kids, like he's like, oh, I got a soft spot for kids now.
But he's so bent right now. He couldn't react.
Well, he could have been. You don't know.
That's true. That's true. Occasionally, you see stage light kind of go through the mask just enough you can see it. There could have been a big crocodile tear there.
For being on the outer rim, Mos Eisley sure gets a lot of traffic, by the way. Like a lot of people seem to go there.
Yeah.
For this remote.
Ice is life. Oh, sorry.
I do love the shots of everything flying into Tatooine.
Yeah, no, this episode showed everything from commerce to, like you said, foot traffic to space traffic, things being ferried about left and right. And it was the hustle and bustle just fascinates me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's done right. So I thought it was awesome. And then you got the little black droid that like goes by, and I swear to God, dude, again, I like humor in Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay to have humor. It lightens the mood a bit, right? Like, hey, I've just sliced a bunch of aliens in half and carried a head and thrown it on a table. I'm going to be sitting on this plane. Basically, it's a plane, right? A ship.
Yeah.
Had that droid gone by and like used this little like 2-prong hand and like thrown some space peanuts at him, I would have died. I would have just died, right? Because I mean, like, why didn't they do that? They really should have done that.
Yeah.
Because it's like a commercial plane. It fascinates me.
In the next scene when he goes to the space hangar and she's like shooting at little space rats running around and the robots, goofy robots.
But dude, Womp Rat. Since when is Womp Rat the size of a Wolverine? I always thought Womp Rats were tiny little dudes. And that's why Luke in the original #1 movie was like, no problem. We can hit that little space, that little space.
Well,
tube.
how many meters?
What's that?
How many meters?
I don't know.
It's like 3 meters.
3 meters. I guess.
It's like 9 feet.
That is like not. Oh my God. So Womp Rats are huge. And that thing was ready to eat that chick, man. I just grabbed her behind it.
Now I gotta Google how big is a Womp Rat.
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, wait, is it?
This is like real world problems, man.
It is.
You're Googling
okay.
It's a Womp Rat.
slightly larger than 2 meters. Okay, so that's yeah,
That's like
6 feet. 6 feet.
Oh, wait a minute.
3 feet in a meter.
Oh,
Three-ish.
okay. Yeah. So wombats are huge. I never realized that. So anyway, I mean, I thought that was sort of a deliciously terrifying scene where she's like, I know, big deal. It's just a womp and then it grabs her and pulls her back. Like, I thought she was messing with the droids, like teasing them and playing it off. And then you see the backside as she's getting dragged off by this thing that Mando finally pops, right? And then they offer to fire up the grill before it gets gamey. I was like, yes, they're gonna eat that son of a gun.
You know what? I love they have the red droid in there, the like orange droid.
Yeah, two-legged guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from that one PlayStation game that hangs out with the orange-headed Jedi kid.
Oh.
I can't think of the name.
But I had that figure as a kid because they show up once in like in Star Wars A New Hope. Unless we're talking about a different droid. We're talking about a different droid.
I'm thinking,
but just it's like an R2D2, but like it's an R4D2 or something.
Yeah, and that was the same one as New Hope because it has the one port that's blasted out, which is why Uncle Owen wasn't able to buy him.
Oh, yeah.
He traded.
It was the same one. Okay, I didn't realize it was the same one. I was actually going to say I like that they
pulled an Easter egg.
I like seeing these. I have a hard time buying this exact same droid because come on, that was 12 years before.
Yes. And R2 has been the Sith Lord since the very beginning.
It's probably a common failure of that type of droid.
Easter egg.
That's what I'm saying.
It's already been documented as an Easter egg. So
I like seeing these droids to know that they're more than just one.
Yeah.
Like that they exist, kind of like this is whether it's
the droids are kind of conky and cute, but they're frankly annoying as hell.
Yeah.
I love the little two-legged guy, which is the one that came from the video game, and he was the one getting nommed on by the Womp Rat. And just the fact that he was showing via hologram where to place the space part on the Naboo starfighter. Yeah, I love that. I just love how helpful he is.
So what did you think about the Naboo starfighter, by the way? Did you like this idea of him getting a fast ship?
Yeah. So I loved those ships when they came out. I thought they were cool. And again, they were all original silver and shiny because it was like the golden age of Star Wars. And that's why nothing looked all bent and dusty and stupid and scraped and stuff. I like the fact that they brought it back completely for kind of fan service, Easter eggy. I mean, he goes through Beggar's Canyon with it. He even goes through the scene of the original area that was the ramp up where the fence got blown up by one of the pod racers. It was spot on episode 1, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a really dumb ship for him because how's he going to transport somebody who how he brings in warm or who he brings in warm?
Right?
Because they kept the dome behind him. So of course Grogu with his ears bent in that someday is going to be fucking hilarious, right?
Oh, okay.
But he can't carbonite anybody like he wants in
it's a bounty. It's not a bounty hunter ship.
It's not a bounty hunter ship.
So do you think he's gonna get a ship that he can dock this into?
Well, I think that's too much. I think that this is the new Mandalorian. I think that this whole episode is showing his progression. He's going to go do something cool with Boba for the next 2 episodes, and then he's going to be back to that fork in the road. He's not going to be collecting bounties, or maybe he's just going to go head hunting. Maybe that little port behind him will just have a severed head when he's in space. So every time he lands, he scares the crap out of people. I don't know, but he's going
to hang with Boba, and his Boba is like, I'm done with being a bounty hunter. I'm just going to be like a respectable,
I think,
crime lord.
Exactly. Mando's whole creed is going to change. I think maybe he'll try to go get christened in the freaking Mandalorian, hot spring bath with the monkeys picking each other's, stuff out of their hair. Who knows? But just the fact that they had all these nods, like the guy from Kim's Convenience, a wonderful Netflix show of the Korean grocery store, that Jedi fighter from episode, not episode 2, season 2 in the Mandalorian, and that horrifying ice spider episode.
Yeah.
He recognizes Mando's voice. I mean, just voice alone. And he's also like, hey, young star pilot, you really want to do this paperwork all day, you know, everything else. They're building Mando up to be a completely different character. And I think we're going to see him more and more mask off. They're going to bring back Bo-Katan, who's practically mask off all the time unless she's flying around. And I don't know, man. It's just
like she's not mysterious.
It's a new person.
Well, she doesn't want to wear a mask all the time, or people think she's a Cylon.
Yes, you're right.
Isn't it great if once you get booked in one of these, you like become just like fodder for like, okay, can we slip you in this in a space?
Yeah.
Can we slip you in this space Enterprise, or not Enterprise, but
Enterprise? God, you're just jumping from every galaxy to another.
Intellectual properties. We're gonna put you in all the different ones.
Yeah.
So what? They have this long scene with, it's a long time getting the starship ready and playing with this.
And the little,
man, this is good writing, man, for nothing happening really. I mean, nothing happens, but a lot happens.
They do
and then
so much world building in this one though. And
then FedEx shows up. How does she know? How does she know that he's there? Not even in Mos Espa. He's in Mos Eisley.
He's
got her ears everywhere. Do you think she was searching for him and found out where he was?
I think she had her, fingers in her network. I think that. Well, okay. A quick thing here. Yeah, I know that went dark quick. When I forgot what scene it was, but one of the scenes had, maybe it was when the cruiser landed on the desert planet, right? I'm getting planets mixed up because when it landed, it had those like toll booth, like bridge shapes that were in The Rise of Skywalker, or, the most recent 3 films. It had those same red, like dome things that were on Jakku, which was the planet that we found Rey on. It had that exact same stuff, all that same architecture. So again, there's all these nods toward the previous films now, and is something about that going to be brought in? Like again,
it's just technology that works, right? That they send other places, right?
Okay, so you're saying, like, imagine a Greyhound station. 5 years ago, Washington State had all of our bus stations upgraded to have a certain look and feel. And Orca Pass, slide here. So you're saying that look and feel is just mass produced throughout the galaxy?
Maybe if starfighters are going different places, they're going to want the same systems. There's got to be some universality to things. So, they use credits. They all use credits.
Well, and now it's Republican credits. Imperial credits aren't worth anything.
Right, but the Emperor made the trains run on time. So
because he squashed the Union. Now, I think it's also important to note that, yes, sure, the ship is faster than heck, but it doesn't require a hyper ring.
Yeah.
So that's going to become a vital part, I think, somehow, whether it's like Kroger's over there, pew, when he shoots off or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, nothing is said or shown without intent.
Yeah.
And this episode had so many little things. Now my brain is going every direction. Or again, maybe he's just going to show up, kick some booty with Boba for 2 episodes because there's nothing left. And then all of this sets how he's going to be new ship, new guy, off to go see Grogu with his little chainmail outfit. And, we'll see. Because again, he's not in a carrier.
And I guess what bothers me most about this is there was a lot of setup, I feel, for a different show, not for the next 2 episodes.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird choice to do this to everybody. Like,
but if you think about it, a couple of the Mandalorian episodes were directed toward all the fan service of getting Boba into the show again, right? I mean, so many of those, 2 or 3 of them were
Mandalorian did not appear in them.
Yeah. Maybe we just need another Back to the Tank episode just to all the calm down. Maybe At the end of episode 7, he's going to wake up and he's realizing the last 3 episodes were just a dream. Right?
Fennec's gonna go to the Bacta chamber, and J.R. Ewing is in the Bacta tank. What?
Yeah. Or maybe
Patrick
wakes up in the Bacta tank, and all 7 episodes were just a dream, and he's just a floating head.
he wakes up in the Sarlacc pit. Oh, it was all a dream. Oh,
this is the rest of his.
What could have been?
Yeah,
I will say, I did. Let me tell you, I did go back and watch the episode where Fennec got shot.
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh, it was those. That was the lights that they were shooting. They were shooting something in the air. Then that's what Boba saw.
Yes. Well, we determined that when we last spoke.
Right. But I didn't realize what exactly it was. But now, actually, watching the episode, I was like, oh, okay.
So what was the source of the lights? Because the other bounty hunter turned on Fennec because he had a puck with her head on it.
Yeah.
So he was actually after her. He partnered with her to make it look like they were going to get the Mandalorian, right? But then he ended up shooting her in the gut and killing her, or at least deathly injuring her. So what did cause the light source? Because I don't recall.
It was them. I think it was Boba fighting, or not Boba, Mandalorian fighting.
Mandalorian?
He had some things that shot up in the air. I think it was.
Okay.
I forget exactly. But I was just so like, oh, this is when it happened. I was trying to find the Boba moments in those episodes, and I can't find them.
Mando killed the guy, the bounty hunter that killed Fennec, right? You just watched it.
I didn't watch the whole episode. I was just skimming through. I forgot about the whole training him, like that he was like helping him out because he was like he was allegedly a new bounty hunter.
And he was totally cocky, almost like Han Solo-esque with his attitude.
Yeah.
Yet he's basically a freaking virgin.
I don't know if Mando actually got him at the end. Because he never knew Fennec got shot.
Okay.
He wasn't there. He had
now
left.
I have to watch it again because I don't recall.
I'm gonna have to watch the whole season again because I didn't realize how much was just little bits. Like I have no idea when Boba first showed up in which episode he showed up in.
He first showed okay. The end of season 1, he showed up just as a camera behind him silhouette when he still had the hood on, and he still had the sand person. The Tuscan weapon, and then he showed up again after Fennec's shooting in the credits as like literally boots with spurs on it. And that spurred on a whole joke series of why the hell are there spurs in space?
Yeah,
but of course, if you're riding some freaking animal, it makes sense.
That's how you get the banthas to run like they do. Spurs.
This episode, he's gonna walk 10 feet in one direction, and that bantha's still, I'm free.
And then there's the point that he goes to get his armor back, right? It says, that's my armor. Dude.
Are we still talking Mando episode?
Mando, yeah.
Are we talking
the Mando episode that he says that's my armor?
Boba Mando episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once he appears with Fennec on sort of the hill scene where Mando is trying to get Grogu up to the top to stand on the.
Okay, that's that one.
That's when he physically shows up and says, "I had no quarrel with you. I'm here to get the freaking Grogu guy, Baby Yoda, little turd."
Okay.
No one was after Mando. Everyone was after the child.
Yeah.
Mando.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But Boba had already scanned the ship or something and realized that by the fact that Mando had gotten the armor from the Jawas.
Yeah.
Then, however it happened, Boba realized that his armor was in Mandalorian's Razor Crest, and that's the same damn episode, or I think, where the Razor Crest just got decimated by what was it, an Imperial ship or something that just took it out from space.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to have another whole podcast where we
just catching up with old 8 other episodes.
Yeah,
man.
All right.
Okay, so that's it. So okay, my predictions for the future hold still.
Okay.
My predictions next episode is all going to be about C-3PO, and what they're doing.
You did predict that Mando would be some of the muscle. I didn't think that he was going to be in it.
But you said you noticed the music, right?
Well, yeah, that's true.
I thought it would be somebody at least from that.
Yeah. But now he's back. He's working for free because he still has honor.
Yeah, he's like, no, this one's for free, man.
Yeah, he's going to fall down. His helmet's going to come off, and he's going to be like, whoa, snap, I can actually see better. And he'll leave it off once in a while. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, so only 2 left. So they better focus on Boba.
Have they confirmed a second season for this?
I don't know.
I don't think I've seen anything about that. I mean, I think they damn well better. But my other thought is that actually I might already backtrack what I said. It was an incredibly awesome episode in Mandalorian when the rest of the Mandos showed up to basically save him from that scene.
Yeah.
That was so cool, right? So beautifully done. And the backpacks and the big Vizsla gunner who now is a D-bag who got shanked like 10 times. I guess now that they're on the ring planet, what I was about to say doesn't make sense, but it would be cool if they also show up in the final episode to help with the Pikes. Because somehow all of these Mandos are connected, whether or not he's a real Mandalorian now or not.
Yeah.
There's that brotherly and I guess now sisterly love creed.
Well, but they're all dead, right?
Well, but there's 3 left.
Oh, just for them to show up.
I'm sorry, there's 4 left, I think, according to her. Who's the 4th, right?
No.
So would they all show up at the last episode to also help defeat the Pikes? Or do we just get BK, the big Wookiee, and how many other types of, I mean, like maybe someone's going to just hit a button and there'll be like a billion probed or droids come back to life. Like, Roger, and they'll just come mow down the Pikes.
Well, we got the motorcycle gang.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
The droid gang will be there.
The motorcycle gang. Do you mean the Vespa committee?
The Vespa gang. We got them there, and we got the badass Wookiee, a Rancor.
That's true. They do have a Rancor, and Danny Trejo. I mean, he'll just whip out a machete and just decimate everybody because that's what he does. He is machete.
That would be hilarious.
He'll be like, I need a Rancor, and he'll just go bonkers.
So yeah, well, I'm looking forward to them. I feel a little cheated, but I do feel like I got a little preview at the same time. Like, this was nice. It was just a surprise. It was a surprise. So it was a surprise twist.
I give this an 8.5 out of 10 because I was disappointed, so that knocked it down. I want you to watch it again though, and strictly because you're a film critic, Silas, strictly watch it from a cinematography perspective.
Oh, it's lovely.
Especially the Ring Planet. It is so beautiful, and they thought of everything. Just like the whole fear when Mando and Vizsla are fighting, you totally thought one of them was going to fall into space because that was alluded toward. That was alluded that literally, if someone falls, they are effed. And of course, Mando does fall at one point, and my son was like, "Oh my God, it's over!" And then he flamed up on his jetpack. Right? It's totally cool, flawlessly done.
Yeah, they're killing the lead. They're killing the lead character.
But because they took off their backpacks, it was like if someone falls, they will fall straight down.
Yeah, and
then gravity and the death of space will somehow take over and just vacuum them. Right? It's so well done. All of that. Watch it again.
I will. Gotta watch everything again.
Amen to that.
Gotta get caught up. Caught up so I know what the hell's going on.
Episode 5 in the books.
All right, in the books. Thank you, and thank you, the listener, for viewing and being a part of this.
Yeah,
This is Mos Eisley.
that's
Mos
awesome.
Eisley. All right.
Go droids.
All right. Till next time. May the force be with you.
Join us in Pressing. Join us in Pressing. Join us in Pressing. Live long and prosper and prosper and prosper and prosper.